Sorry about that. Okay, is everyone clear till now? The different options here: sum, variance, average, count distinct, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, variance, and attribute, and also all of the options in this one. So when I selected all of the values, when I selected all values, right, it's not using any aggregation. What are the different aggregations we can have? Simple aggregations are something like sum, average, count. Those are your aggregations, right? So when I'm saying all values, I'm basically saying each individual value, I'm placing a filter. Okay. Now something like a similar situation. Let me give two questions. First question is find all the categories whose sales are more than $5,000. Okay. The second case, I'm saying find all the sum of sales for categories where, oh sorry, taking each sale more than $5. Okay, that means here I'm saying each sale or each order placed should be more than $5. Here I'm saying sum of all the values is more than $5,000. Okay, so the first answer will be, for the first question, I'm saying, what is the question? Find all the categories whose sum of sales is greater than $5,000. So select sales. I'm saying sum of sales, right? Greater than 5,000. So at least $5,000. Click OK. So these are all the categories more than 5,000. Now the other question, find the sum of sales of all categories, taking each sale which is more than $5. So select sales, all values. So minimum should be $5 for each sale. Click OK. So this is my answer for that. That's the difference between both the questions, and that's the difference between both the options. So here, see, if I selected sum, okay, click OK. Here the filter is placed on sum of sales. But if I placed on all values, click OK, it's placed on just sales. That is for you to identify. Now you might have a question here. Okay, why? So for example, whenever I drag and drop sales into text, why is sum of sales coming? Why not average? You know, like we can convert from sum to average here, but why is it not showing like that? So the reason is that we have default properties. So right click, under default properties, see here aggregation. The default aggregation is sum. So that is the reason whenever you drag and drop it, by default the aggregation will be shown as sum. So let's see, I'll select average. Okay, I'll remove this. So now sales, now average of sales is being shown. Okay, awesome. Then the last thing we'll discuss is the dates. Okay, so let's say I selected an order date, drag and drop it. Now these options are similar, but obviously you will not have a sum of dates, right? There is no point in sum of dates. Okay, so something like that. So that's why you don't have a sum of dates. So we have count distinct, minimum, maximum. We're already aware of all of these. We're aware of attribute. Okay, now we have, remember all values over there, we have individual dates here. That means we are not using any aggregations. So the aggregations on dates is that it belongs to an year. So you can aggregate it to an year level, to a quarter level, to a month level, to days, week numbers, week days, month numbers, month year, month day year. So these are all the aggregations that we can do, default aggregations. Now remember, we can always create a calculated field with the type of aggregation that we want. Okay, and then we have a relative date and range of dates. Okay. Let's start with range of dates. Select next. So this is the least value that I have, okay, and this is the highest value that I have. Range of dates. Okay, least and highest. Similar to how we selected earlier, we can select the same values here, and also these bars work. So I selected it here, click on apply. The values changed. Okay, start date. You can only give the start date as you want. Similar options, end date also, and special, null dates, non-null dates, all dates. Click on reset and everything will be reset. Click on apply. All values will be shown. Okay. Now relative dates. So in relative dates, we have multiple options here. So we can give just values from today, just values from tomorrow, values from yesterday. Okay. So if you select yesterday, see the option. Today is 5/22, right? So that's why it's saying 5/21 to 5/21. Today 5/22 to 5/22. Okay. And then we also have last 3 days, last 4 days, last 6 days. Last 6 days 5/17 to 5/22. 5/16 to 5/22. Sorry, 7 days. Right? 5/16 to 5/22, 7 days. We can also have the same options in weeks, months, quarters, years. Okay, these options. The only new option we have is year to date or quarter to date, month to date, weeks to date, and okay, sorry, that's all. So here, what do I mean by week to date? So for example, if your week is starting on 15th, okay, now all of these values belong to this week, right? That's starting on 15th. Okay, all of these values from 16th to 21, all of these values belong to 15th. So that's my week to date. In the option here, all of these values from 23rd to 28, all of these values belong to 22nd, the week starting on 22nd. That's what I mean by week to date. Similar to month to date. Okay, now all the, say a value is starting from 1st May. So all of these values, all those that are starting in the month of May, will be included. It doesn't matter if it's 2nd of May or 10th of May or 25th of May. It's just relative to each month. Okay. Now we have one last option in this one, anchor relative to. So what happens is that, so all of these is moving, right? That means, for example, okay, say I selected last 7 days. It's 5/16/2016 to 5/22/2016. 5/16 to 5/22, because these are my last 7 days. Now what if I log in tomorrow? My last 7 days will be from 17th to 23rd, right? Right?
Yeah.
So for that not to happen, you can anchor relative to a date. So if I leave it like this, this value will always be present. Okay, clear? This value will always be present. Now you might be wondering, like, what is the point of just giving these values? Now once I do that, okay, can you see this? Here I can select all these options again, last 10 days, but it's anchored to the date that I specified. Okay, because I have given anchor relative to. Even if I log in tomorrow, okay, it's going to be the same value because I have anchored it here. Now, if I log in tomorrow in this option, it's going to be from 5/14/2016 to 5/23/2016. Okay, perfect. Next. Now, you're all familiar with all of these options, right? Relative
Well,
dates, relative dates.
one question. There we have an option called tomorrow, and so when we use the tomorrow, it won't be having an exact value. We cannot predict tomorrow's values, right?
I'm sorry. Can you please repeat that?
Let's say
Okay.
if we have tomorrow, so how will be knowing tomorrow's values? So it keep on changing, right?
No. If the date, so what it does is basically it will specify, it will filter dates for tomorrow. It will not give you those dates. If the data is present for tomorrow's date, then that data will be shown. Okay. Tableau does not predict in this case. The option it gives here is that if there is information for tomorrow, then it will be shown here. So for example, says I selected yesterday, okay? Then my values, I'm not defining them using Tableau. I'm basically asking Tableau to show all the data with yesterday's date. So for example, say you have a software, you predicted some values like
better can you go to Tableau and see with the order date, the order ID with the dates or something like that?
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Can you?
Yeah, I understand. One moment. Let me edit. Let me add some more values here. Okay. Oh, or wait. I think I know how to do it. Oh, sorry, my Tableau crashed. I think there's some problem with the data here. Row ID. Why is row ID so screwed? Okay. Say, let me get the dates first. Order dates. Okay, I have all of these values in my database currently. Okay, I'll create a calculated field on this. What I'll do is I'll basically add some date, say from 2011 I have, right? So I'll add 4 years to this. Okay, for that I'll go to dates. I'm trying to add dates, right? So date add. Okay, date add. Now we'll discuss the calculations in a moment in the few coming classes, but if you don't understand, that's fine. I'm trying to add 4 years to my order date. The calculation is valid. New order date. Okay, I'll save this one. Now this calculated field is created. 1 minute. I'll try to show all the values here. Okay, these are all the values present, right? So today is 5/22/2016, March 22nd. There's value for this. That's my today's date, right? So for tomorrow, 6:33 is the value that I have. What I'll do, drag this, relative dates, next option. Here, I want tomorrow's value. Click apply. See, only tomorrow's value is being shown, May 23, 2016. It's not showing anything other than that. Clear? Now, Tableau is not trying to predict in this case. In this case, Tableau is only filtering from your existing data. Okay? Are you clear with that?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. You can sort these from here. I guess you're already familiar with the sorting options, right? To clear sort, click on clear sort. I forgot to show that option to you earlier, so that's why. May, March, April, May 23rd. Okay, yeah, this is the value we wanted to show. So if I log in tomorrow, then May 24, 2016 value will be shown. Okay, awesome. Next, let's talk about. So we have seen dimensions, measures. We are talking about dates, right? Let's see more options in dates. Order date. So here we can select years. So then again, this becomes like a dimension. What are the different possible years? Similar options, right? General, condition, and top. We have quarters, months, year, days, week numbers, weekdays, month year. Month year means a combination of your month and year. Just month means like January, February, and so on. So let me show you the options in months. So these are the options in months. Okay. Month of order date. See the field name, month of order date. But in order date, if I select month, year, you see year next to it. So there's an option for January 2011 and also January 2012. January 2013 is there. So all Januaries are not treated in the same way. But earlier it was treated in the same way. Here now we are treating month, comma, year combination. Okay. Awesome. Next, dates. Where is my order date? And this days, week numbers, week days, month, year, month, day, year, and individual dates. Individual dates, basically it's going to show all the possible values. Now you might have a question in this one. What is the difference between month, day, year, and individual dates? So the difference is that right now we have, the data that we have is on the day level, right? But what happens if you also have a timestamp? For example, if you go to a store and purchase something on the sale, it has a timestamp also, right? So that is coming into priority in these two cases. Here, all the sales for that particular day will be shown in this one or will be selected in this one. In the individual dates, per timestamp will be shown. Okay. Awesome. So you're all clear on all of these options, right? Any doubts? No? Okay. What is page shelf and use of page shelf? This is my page shelf. Okay. Now earlier also we were seeing this. So let me create a scatter plot first so that oh, okay, and I'll put some states in this, or say subcategory. Now these are all my subcategories, okay, and each of them has a color assigned to it. I'm assigning the color here. If I want to assign something else, I can select it from here. Okay, now say I selected or dropped subcategory into this and only want to select one thing. One moment. Show filter. Here, these are the different options. We have already discussed these. So here, accessories has a sale of 160 plus K and profit a little more than 40K. All of these options are shown here. Okay. Now, in this situation, everything is on the top right. You are not completely understanding which value is bigger or which value is smaller. See, between copiers and chairs, it's like it's not mattering here. But what happens if I put this in page shelf? Okay, this is for accessories, this is for appliances. Here my sales and profit for art, binders, bookcases. So another important option in this is the show history. Okay, so in show history option, if you observe clearly, there are some points like a little dim in color. Let me brighten those up. Say last 5, fade. Okay. So now I'm looking at chairs, right? This is my bookcases. This is my chairs. Oh, one moment, guys. I think you're getting a small problem with the color. Okay, in this case, right now we are looking at the most bright thing. This is my chairs. That's what I'm looking at. When I scroll, I'm actually keeping my previous data also. I'm not filtering it out, and also that because my axis is constant, I can compare these things. Whereas in the filter section, what is happening? Basically, I'm filtering out previous or other categories information. So for example, if I select it here, click OK, 1 minute, show filter. In this option, I'm filtering everything else, right? Whereas in a page shelf, I'm not doing that. My axis is constant, so I can actually compare them. Also, I can generate an animation like this. See the animation? This can be useful for presentations. This is especially used, the page shelf is especially used when you're trying to plot your information in years. Okay, for example, instead of subcategory, okay, so 1 minute, I have category, and in this order date I'll select on page shelf. By default year is selected. If I want customize, I can customize more things. So here can play it. These are my points, how they are progressing. Now let me remove the category also. 1 minute, and here I'll do this one. Okay, now I can say to my team, see how my sales and profit are progressing. You see how they are progressing? These are my definite points, right? So this sort of an animation can be created. Okay, this is one of the uses of page shelf, mostly used for this reason. Clear? Any doubts? Anyone? Okay, no. I'm assuming everyone's familiar with the page shelf right now, and we'll go to the next one. What is swapping and how to apply swapping to the report? This is simple. Okay. So swapping is nothing but if you want to exchange your columns to rows and rows to columns. So you can do it this way, but you're not sure if you forgot something or if you screwed something up. And sometimes the number of rows and columns you have, like number of rows can go from 1 to 10 and number of rows can go from 1 to 15. Okay. So you have 15 rows and 10 columns. So changing them, changing each and every one of them might create a problem. So for that, they have created this option, swapping. So if I click here, these are interchanged. My columns go into rows and rows into columns. Okay. This is simple, one-step thing. That's easy for me to do. Rather than, like dragging it like this and dropping it like this and so on. You might also get confused at a point. Okay. Is everyone clear on this one? Swapping, simple option, right? Okay. The next option we'll see. Today we'll start charts. Okay. We'll only discuss the text table and highlight table. If you observe, whenever I'm hovering my mouse on that, it is being highlighted, and at the bottom, so in this region, okay, some information is changing. For text tables, try one or more dimensions, one or more measures. Can you see that? Can you see where it's showing that information? For text tables, try one or more dimensions and one or more measures. In the show me option, see at the bottom. Okay, guys, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone who cannot see that? You can see it. Okay. So let's see. So what is text table? So it's the basic idea is that it's going to show information in text format. Instead of creating like a bar or anything, it's going to show information in a text table. So for that, it's asking us to select one dimension or one measure. So this one, it's not mandatory. Okay. So we can also do a text table with just one dimension or one measure. It's asking one or more dimensions, one or more measures. It's basically like a best practice. Okay. So what is a text table? For that, what did it ask us to do? One or more dimensions, one or more measures. So let me select one dimension. So my dimension is subcategory. Even with this, it got highlighted. So all those charts that are highlighted, right? So if you observe, my text table is highlighted. All the other options are not highlighted here. A little dim, right? That means I can generate this one with the selection I made here. So subcategory, I want it against sales. So now when I selected these two, one dimension and one measure, so these graphs got highlighted, right? That means I can generate all of these by simply clicking on them. Okay. So this is my text table where information is shown in text, whereas this one is called a bar chart where information is in bars. Simple, right? This is my cross tab or text table. In Tableau, we call this a text table. Outside of Tableau, generally we call it a cross tab of information. Okay. Text table or cross tab. So this is my first option I wanted to show. Simple, right? You can also generate this by, so now it's blank. I wanted subcategory on my rows and sum of sales as text here, right? So I'll drop it as text here. That's all. This is my text table. Okay. Awesome. Same, right? I selected that. And the next option is highlight table. What the highlight table does is it's going to highlight each and every cell present. So how is it highlighting? On sum of sales. If you want this to be highlighted by average of sales, say, okay, you want this to be done by average of sales, the color. Click here. The measure is sum right now. Do average. See, color got changed. So you want to color it by count. This is my count colors. Minimum, maximum. If you want to edit color, click on edit colors. Okay. These are all the multiple options here. You can also give it a stepped color. What stepped color means? So till now it was a continuous color, right? Now it's stepped color, something like your marks and your grades. So grades are stepped, marks are continuous. And then if you want to reverse the order of color, that's my reverse order of color. I have multiple advanced options also. So start at this and end it here. So I want to end it at 800. Click on apply. Anything above 800, because I have used reverse option, anything above 800 will have the same color as 800. Okay. These are my different options. Anyone questions? Highlight table and text table. So in this one, if I put, say, count of sales in color, okay, see what happens. Say count of sales, right? Earlier we did. So here the text is being colored, whereas in a highlight table, let me remove this, whereas in a highlight table, my cell is being colored. That's the difference. Okay. Any questions in this session or any previous sessions? Okay, I'm assuming you do not have any questions. So